YouTube, Corncob Piper coming at you. It is a Sunday morning. Hope everybody's had themselves a great weekend. I know I definitely have, and looking forward to a great week to come. Today we are going to be doing another Latakia blend review. So welcome to another episode of Puffin Latakia. This is a blend that is very, very near and dear to my heart. I'm actually surprised that I haven't already done a review of this one yet. I probably should have, being as this is pretty much my go-to tobacco whenever I'm not sure about what I want to smoke or if I'm interested in smoking a nice English. This is definitely the one that I reach for the most. Probably not my favorite tasting English blend, but definitely the one that is most consistent, easiest to smoke, easiest burning. Taste-wise, I'd probably have to give a slight nod up to GLP's Quiet Nights. But this really is my mainstay go-to English tobacco. And the one that we are going to be reviewing today is Dunhill My Mixture 965. I do have this that I'm reviewing in the bulk version. They do also sell it a tin. And I do have some tins cellared right now, I think 5 or 6 of them. But the consistency between the tin version and the bulk version is identical. I know some blends out there, the tin versions are definitely better than the bulk blends. This one, there's no distinction between the two. They're really one and the same. Since I smoke this so much, I prefer to go for the purchasing a bulk just to save some money. And, I keep it jarred up. So this jar is, holds 4 ounces of tobacco. I keep this jar full at all times. I order Dunhill My Mixture 965 probably more than any other tobacco that I order. I mean, this is really, really my go-to blend. So, little history, first of all, about Dunhill tobaccos. So, and specifically My Mixture 965. So My Mixture 965 is the longest running Dunhill blend ever in production. It was pretty much the first blend that Alfred Dunhill put together. This was back around in 1910 that he first blended this. By the way, I'm drinking and going to be pairing this with a Margot's Dark root beer. It's quite delicious. It's a non-alcoholic root beer. So basically, Alfred Dunhill and Dunhill of England produced this blend until around 1970, at which point they were bought out, the tobacco anyhow was bought out by Murray's & Sons out of the UK as well. And they continued to blend all of the Dunhill blends right up until 1999. That's including My Mixture 965, at which time the British American Tobacco Company bought out Murray's and they discontinued production of Dunhill tobaccos. That is until right around 2011. At some point along the way, they decided to continue production of the Dunhill blend, specifically in America, under the Orlick name. And that's what we've been smoking since. So basically, Dunhill disappeared in the U.S. from 1999 till 2011. Many people were very, very happy to see it come back. I have never smoked any of the original Dunhill or the Murray's blends, so I'm specifically, when I'm reviewing this, going to be speaking about the Orlick tobacco, which is actually blended for them by the Scandinavian Tobacco Company, which is probably, I think, the first or second biggest tobacco company in the world. I think BAT is actually number 1. Now, in 2017, BAT, who owns Dunhill, they consolidated some of their things, had a big meeting, and they decided that they were going to no longer produce Dunhill tobaccos for U.S. sale. And this was right at the beginning of 2017 this happened. We've got somewhat of a reprise, from what I understand, that's still going to be happening. Not really sure when. Everybody, including myself, is very optimistic and hopeful that the Scandinavian Tobacco Company is just going to buy the rights to Dunhill pipe tobacco line, continue to blend it and sell it under their name, move it from Orlik to Scandinavian Tobacco Company, or maybe put it under the Lane name, whichever. But I'm hoping that that's going to happen and the Dunhill doesn't go away, at least here in the United States. But this blend's been around a long time, 107 years going on now. It's a lot of people's favorite English tobacco. From everything that I've read and seen on this stuff, everybody that smokes it, that likes Latakia blends, really does love this stuff, including myself. This is a ribbon blend. It contains brown Cavendish, Latakia, Oriental, and Virginias. And we'll go ahead and take a look at that now. All right, so here we go. And as you can see, I have actually picked up a new tobacco tray, so no more white paper plate. Hopefully this is a little bit better presentation. But this comes in the standard, very, very thin Dunhill ribbon cuts. Moisture level out of the tin and in the bulk comes perfect, ready to smoke. I have tried both. Like I said, there is no discernible difference between smoking from the tin and smoking from the bulk blend. But I do really love the way that Dunhill cuts their ribbon tobacco, how thin it is. Now, how this is not quite a shag tobacco. It definitely is a very, very thin ribbon cut, which makes this very, very easy to pack, very, very consistent burning. And all of the Dunhill blends that I've smoked all burn just super great and down to a fine white ash. I'll give you a little better view of this tobacco here, a little close up. You can see in there the greenish colored stuff is definitely the Oriental. The lighter browns is going to be the brown Cavendish and the Virginia. And then obviously the dark stuff in there is the Latakia. Okay, so for the tin note of Dunhill My Mixture 965, first off, what you get hit with is significant smokiness. And the smokiness is coming not only from the Latakia, it's coming from the Turkish as well. But that is the main smell that you're going to pick up off the tin note, is that definitely campfire smokiness, a woody smokiness from the Turkish, and then that tar-like smell that comes from Latakia as well. There's definitely a significant sweetness in the smell as well. I'm guessing that comes from the Cavendish. It really isn't like a honey or vanilla kind of sweetness that I'm smelling. It is more just like a straight sugarcane smell, just a significant sweetness. And you could pick that up in the notes from the smell. This is very, very leathery. Pick up a little bit of dark fruits also from the Virginia in there. So just a great smelling English blend. Now this is listed as a Scottish blend, and for the sake of just making things easier, because there's a very, very fine line between a Scottish, an English, and a Balkan, I am just going to consider all of them. I'm just going to refer to them from here on out in the future as just in English. So if I'm smoking a Balkan, I'm going to call it in English. If I'm smoking a Scottish, I'm going to call it in English, just because there is very, very fine line between the distinctions between the three. A lot of people, including myself, and I think some of the master blenders out there, aren't even really sure themselves. So it's just easier to call them what it is in English. And this is a consummate, in my opinion, English blend. Really what you think of when you smell and smoke in English. What comes to my mind is My Mixture 965. Now, I'm not going to refer to all Latakia blends as Englishes, because there are some Virginias out there that have some Latakia in it, used condimentally. There's some Burleys as well where they throw some Latakia in as a condiment. I won't refer those to as Englishes. Those will still remain to be called either a Virginia blend or a Burley blend. But for the purposes of Dunhill My Mixture 965, we're going to call it an English, and I believe that it is an English. So, great smelling stuff. I'm smoking it today from my Ziri Meerschaum Morgan nose warmer. I just put a new bit on it today because my other bit was a little chomped up. So I'm out of black ones. I just grabbed a white one, which I think looks pretty cool. As many of you know, this is also my favorite pipe shape to smoke. So not only am I smoking my favorite blend, today I'm also smoking it in my favorite pipe shape. I'll go ahead and get this lit up. And we will talk about the taste profile. Like I said, with all the Dunhill blends that I've smoked, moisture level is perfect. Because of that small ribbon cut that they do, it burns very, very consistently, evenly. Requires very, very few relights. And like I said, this blend will burn to the bottom of your pipe to a fine white ash. So we'll talk about the tobaccos in order that I think the prominence is there. So the strongest of them down to the weakest of them, or the amounts that I think that are in here. Now this is listed, supposedly listed in the amounts that are, you know, like an ingredient list. So the ingredient that has the most quantity is listed first. They do that supposedly in tobacco too. Theirs is listed as number 1 Cavendish, 2 Latakia, 3 Oriental, and 4 Virginia. I taste them more as Oriental first, Latakia second, Virginia third, and the Cavendish last. So we'll talk about the Orientals. Now, most of the time when I smoke Orientals, I get 1 or 2 taste profiles. I either get super tangy, like vinegary or citrusy, or I get woody and smoky. The Orientals that are in this blend, I definitely pick up a smokiness, a woodiness, almost like oak or pecan wood, some kind of a hardwood, and then some significant spiciness as well. And spiciness in the way that pepper or garlic or ginger are spicy. It's more of a mouthfeel thing. Obviously, this does not taste like ginger or garlic, but it's that same kind of spicy heat. Whereas in like Perique, you get more of like a black pepper. This is more of just more of a certain mouthfeel when I talk about spiciness. Next, you're gonna pick up on the Latakia, which is definitely there. I would definitely refer to this as a Latakia forward blend. Medium range Latakia. I'm not a big fan of Latakia bombs. You will never see on this channel me do a review of Nightcap or 10 Russians or Star of the East Flake, anything like that, where it's just fully loaded with Latakia. GLP's Quiet Nights, My Mixture 965. It's about the level of Latakia that I like in my blends. So for the Latakia, you know, just straightforward. This is Cyprian Latakia. I pick up, you know, smokiness, burnt wood smokiness. There's a leatheriness, kind of a taste to this Latakia. It is somewhat creamy, but not anywhere near the creaminess that you get in like Penzance or Quiet Nights. But it definitely is on the creamy side. And then you get, you know, I think there's a definitely, when I smoke Latakia, I taste a definite tar-like taste note. Diesel fuel, something like that. That is definitely present. This blend does not bite at all, at least me. I smoke this pretty aggressively, and I have never got any kind of a tongue bite ever when I've smoked this. Next, we'll talk about the Virginias. Definitely pick up some taste of dark fruit, prunes or raisins, and there's definitely a significant grassiness in here. However, the Virginias, I think, are more like used condimentally in here to sweeten the blend up and give it those significant base notes of dark fruit and grassiness. And last but not least, The Cavendish you could definitely tell adds a significant amount of sweetness to this blend. And there is a distinction that you can tell between the sweetness coming from the Virginia and the sweetness coming from the Cavendish. The sweetness from the Virginia is more of a natural sweetness. The sweetness coming from the Cavendish is more so like a, like cane sugar. But they don't use a lot of it in here. And I believe it adds just the right amount of sweetness and helps mellow out the blend a little bit, takes a little bit of that spiciness away and that smokiness. And it just the Cavendish, I think, helps really bring everything together. It's like the Big Lebowski would say, it's like the rug that holds everything in his room together. If you've never seen that movie, The Big Lebowski, definitely check it out. It is one of the greatest comedies of all time, in my opinion. The Cavendish, on top of adding that sweetness, also adds a there's a nuttiness, not a burly nuttiness, but there definitely is a nutty earthiness that's coming from the Cavendish. I'm thinking that they might toast the Cavendish because in blends that I've had with toasted Cavendish in the past, I'm getting that same kind of nuttiness out of this. But this tobacco will stay consistent from the first light all the way to the bottom of the bowl. It doesn't change. That's something that I really like. It's just done really well. All the tobaccos that are in here complement each other in just the perfect way, I think. The Cavendish, the addition of the Cavendish in here definitely makes this for a cooler burning smoke, which is something else that I enjoy. Because when I smoke a pipe, I prefer to chooch pretty hard as opposed to taking my time. Now there's some flakes out there and some Virginias that I do enjoy where, if I don't wash myself, I'll get tongue bite from them, which I'll smoke rather slowly. But I prefer just to kind of puff away without giving it much thought, which is definitely something you could do from this blend. So basically, from everything that I've said at the beginning, you could pretty much guess what my 5-star rating of Dunhill My Mixture 965 is going to be. I am definitely going to go ahead and give this one a 5 out of 5 stars. This pretty much would be what I would consider my Desert Island blend. If I was forced to only smoke one blend for the rest of my life, I'd say this would be it. Now, I would definitely miss some of the other ones, but this really is the one that does it for me. If you haven't smoked My Mixture 965, definitely give it a try. You could pick up the bulk version from either smokingpipes.com or Pipes and Cigar. I think Four Noggins and Cup of Joe sells it too, the bulk. It's like, $3.50 an ounce. Do yourself a favor and at least give it a try, see what it's all about. Obviously, if you are not a fan of Latakia, this is a Latakia forward blend. Probably go ahead and stay away from it at that point. But if you do like Latakias, this is definitely one that I would recommend that you at least give a try and judge it for yourself and see what you think. So once again, 5 out of 5 stars for Dunhill My Mixture 965. Thanks for watching another episode of Puffin Latakia. As always, YouTube, keep on piping.
I am the king of the jungle. I'm the little dog. Said the king of the jungle makes me humble.